Welcome to Empire Total War United Provinces. It's the winter of 1723. We've now taken Madrid as well as Paris. So we're controlling Spain. We're building up Madrid. We're building churches, and this is our end of turn construction report. So it's telling us all the things that have been achieved during that time. These are the forces that we've been recruiting. And there are the two churches and the coaching inn in Madrid, and we've got firing by rank as well. I think I'm going to have to select some battles to show in the future, because there's rather a lot of these battles and some of them are quite samey. So what I'm going to do is select one or two where you can see that nice firing by rank, so you can see a unit firing 3 times more than it ever used to. The only thing is that the cost of your military units goes up. Which means that our expenditure on armed forces has now increased quite considerably, I would say. There's still a Spanish army, there it is, swanning around France. We need to get rid of that. It's damaging buildings and costing us money. I'm looking at this carefully because I want the howitzer, really want howitzers, but I like working with howitzers. I like working with guns that can fire over the top of my own infantry, because I do like the line formation, the 18th century line formation. Of course it does get in the way of artillery. In later periods, in Napoleonic periods, when you're attacking in columns, you've got lots of space between them where you can get windows of opportunity to fire. But that's not the case with this period. You really do need nice solid lines to get a decent bulk of fire in. Okay, so these are my extra units that I'm getting in France, so that I can attack those units that are walking around France. This is Flanders, and at the moment I'm reinforcing Flanders from Amsterdam, so I'm raising better troops in Amsterdam and filtering them through over into Flanders. Then I'm moving them from Flanders over to Alsace-Lorraine. It's sort of like a drip feed system. The problem is that Alsace-Lorraine and Flanders can't produce very good quality troops because I haven't got substantial buildings in there for them. I can't upgrade all the military buildings everywhere because it just costs too much money, and I've invested really in fortresses which I think have been essential in this extremely aggressive European environment. Quick nip over to the Americas now. You'll notice this is where we defeated their fleet, the Maratha fleet, and sank their army. Looking at what to do now with our own ships. If you remember, a gentleman appeared in Mexico. Of course I have no university in Mexico, so I need to pick him up somehow, so I sent him off to a coastline so I can pick him up somewhere. I think the best that I can get in the Americas is a 6 or 8. Can't do any better than that. I think I should be able to do better than that now, having taken Spain. I would expect, because Spain are putting out some big ships, I should be able to put out some myself now that I've got Spain, but I don't know if they've been recruiting them in Portugal or whether they've been getting them further down or not. That's something that needs to be checked. That's the infantry unit that's wrecking buildings in Guatemala. It's another group that I need to take out. I've been building up my men in Guatemala. The idea is not just to take out his men, but also to descend on, in other words go down really, towards Andalusia. Andalusia isn't the next target, but it's certainly on my way. So if I head that way, I'm certainly going in the right direction. So we'll head south. It doesn't look very south from there, does it? But it's eventually going south anyway. Just stepping them outside first, just to check if Guatemala is happy enough for me not to be there anymore. And we've got a fortress in there now, so I'm just going to recruit a militia unit to it and hope that that, as well as the firelock armed citizenry, will be enough to defend it. Okay, just going to get close enough. Trying to work out how quickly he can get to Guatemala. You know, can he get round me? Depends on the type of troops that he got, how quickly they move. But you see, you have, as I've explained before, a zone of control around your army, so he would have to go round me in order to get to Guatemala. I'm hoping that that zone of control you can see there is enough to make him expend so much movement that he won't be able to reach Guatemala itself. Just looking at ways of possibly increasing income with anything that doesn't affect the happiness. Clearances will give me a -1 factor, but as you can see, I've got enough positives in that area in Guatemala to be able to do that. Going to be a messy battle against those chaps, I'm afraid, because sort of Indians and guns and, you know, a good mixture of all sorts of different things in there. As usual, just seeing which ministers I can kick to improve the situation a bit. It's always worth having a try, especially if somebody's on noughts. I've never known it to go from noughts to minuses. You can go from pluses and then change somebody, you know, because they're a +1, but you never get more than a +1. You end up getting a 0 after it, so it's just not worth doing. Quick check down the regions before we end the turn, just to see which are the regions that are at risk. We've only got ones, no surprise there. I'd like Madrid to rebel so that we can get some restlessness in the area. Sorry, I need to get some restlessness in the area so they'll rebel, so that we can then defeat them and settle Madrid quickly. So I am taking taxes from it, but it doesn't seem bad enough really to want to rebel. We're taking the usual high taxes from Ceylon. You notice I'm improving the artillery production in that area so that I can get some decent artillery. Again, I'm going on about howitzers, aren't I? But howitzers that I can send over onto the mainland of India. He's got a lot more ships than I have there. I don't think I've lost any ships. I might have lost 1 or 2 throughout the whole game, but I still can't keep up with these other powers. You know, they're either large navies or much more sophisticated navies. Absolutely no way I can get there at all at the moment. I'm trying to reduce taxes if I can. I know it gives me less income, but it enables growth, you see, and there are ports around and other villages that I can't get yet because the population isn't growing. So there are various places that aren't trading properly because even though they're producing, you know, say cotton or tobacco or whatever it is they're producing, but they can't export it because they haven't got a port yet. This is the gentleman that I was mentioning, taken to a coastal area.